Here's a quick and easy methodology to keep in mind so that you can see the big picture of everything that you're juggling in your life without overwhelm and feeling like you have your handle on things and you can see what it is that you're focusing on. Hi, I'm Melissa Dillon, and this is Have More Time, the Raising Kindness podcast that I'm super excited to be hosting because we are so focused on supporting you on your journey to live a life of joy, doing the things you love with the people you love. So to dive right in one of my episodes, I cover the modes of dedication. I'm going to publish that one before this one with great intention because I think it's a great place to start. And I already mentioned what I'm about to mention now, which is the 5 facets of life. So I call it the 5 facets of life. There are a number of different things that this is called. This is not my own methodology, I guess, if you will, but it is a nice blueprint that I encourage everyone to start with. And then once you master figuring out what the facets of your life are and what they mean to you, then you can call them whatever you want. But I'm just giving this to you as a blueprint to start with so you can go, okay, I kind of see it. I see the big picture here. And you can start plugging in all those doings, everything that you're accomplishing on the day-to-day and everything you're doing to support your kids and your spouse and your work and everything else. You can kind of see, okay, now I see the facets and where all of my time is being allocated. So that then you can start to go, okay, now I intentionally want to spend more time on these facets. And I go deeper with that with my modes of dedication. So I encourage you to listen to that episode in tandem with this one. So the 5 facets of life, number 1 is spirituality and faith. So spirituality and faith, it doesn't have to be faith-based religious, but I'm just saying, spirituality could be anything that you have a ritual in yourself that connects you with the world, that connects you with your deeper self. So it could be going to church, or it could be going to a group where you meet with like-minded people. It could be meditation. Whatever that is to you, to get in touch with your inner self and the world around you, then that is the number 1 thing. And it's a great way to keep your mind centered. That's the ultimate goal with spirituality or faith, is to keep your mind centered. What is it that you do to keep your mind and your internal body centered and balanced and feeling good and confident? That's what that is. Number 2 is your personal health. So personal health is super important. It's like, okay, well, why didn't I bring it up with family? And I go into that with modes of dedication too, but I'll repeat myself here just for the sake of keeping everything on the same episode. So personal health, if you don't take care of your body and your mind, then you can't be here for anything else to your best capacity. So that's why spirituality and faith and personal health are above everything else. That's your foundation, to take care of your mind and then your body, to nourish your body with physical activity, movement, and food, and water. Keeping yourself hydrated, that's a huge one too. And majority of us, I think it's something like over 70% of us is actually dehydrated every day, which, speaking of, I think I'll actually have a little sip of water now. And I'll talk a lot about the 5 facets of life throughout, all of this with the show because I'm working on so much work around this to help support you in your journey to creating your life you love. And it all starts here. It's just establishing a defined, clear view, an overhead view of everything that's going on in your life and the things that you enjoy, and filling your time with as much of the joyful things as possible and keeping the rest of it out. Because there are plenty of things that can take up your time in this world. And we are trying to figure out together on this podcast, we're trying to figure out for you, and my purpose is to support you in defining what is important to you. So, okay, I'll digress. So number 3 is your family. So this is your children, your spouse, your immediate family. Okay, so I know you have your extended family, but that'll be in a separate category, but for your immediate family. And then number 4 is your friends, your extended family, and your fun. So this would include your hobbies, your happy hours, girl time, basically anything with socialization involved or doing things that are fun and creative. And I don't mean creative in terms of your business creative, because there are plenty of things, like for example, this podcast. This is a passion project of mine, but it is also part of my business, serving families and parents and children. So that would be in a different category maybe. And what is it for you? So defining, what is fun for you, a way to blow off some steam. Number 5 is finance and or work. You can call this whatever, it's interchangeable. So this is what you do to make money. Now you may be asking me, why is this at the bottom when it takes up so much time? I know the U.S. Census Bureau says that we, on average, spend about between 47 and 50 hours of work, or of time working, and that might not even be including the average 25-minute commute each way. So, that's a lot of our time. But I put this at the bottom because the reality is if we didn't have to work, we wouldn't go, right? We would rather go focus on just having fun and hanging out with our friends and spending time with our family and doing whatever we want to do with our time. But the reality is we have to make money so we can live and survive, of course. So, but it's ultimately, it's not where our heart is most of the time. I am so excited for all of us who get to do work that is meaningful, that is aligned with what our heart, soul, and purpose is. But lots of times we are doing things that's kind of grueling and not very fun, and we don't want to spend time there. But anyway, I'm rambling. But the finance and work part of it, that'll take a big chunk. But the good news is, for most of us, we already know how much time is allocated to our commute and our work. So once that's removed from our time, and we have a total of 186 hours in a week, all of us have the same amount of hours, the same amount of time currency. So once we remove, okay, this is how much I spent on my working, now what do I have left? And then that's the fun part. So what you do with your 5 facets of life is once you've established, okay, this is how many hours I have left after working, then you can start to work through your facets of life and determine how much time you'd like to dedicate to each one. And that we will talk about in a future episode. But I just wanted to get you connected to the 5 facets of life here because that is going to be a big part of how I'm going to support you and guide you through a process that can really help you to get your bearings on having a life of freedom and a life you enjoy, doing the things that you love to do. So I hope this helps to get you established in understanding time and all the areas of life that you have to dedicate time to. And I look forward to going deeper on this topic next time. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to serving you in the next episode.